and welcome to Homeownership, Section 4, Lesson 3, CWT Organization. Today you will share your research and thesis statements with collaborative groups. You will add on to your original claim by responding to the unit question, is the American dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? You will ensure that all information relates back to the main unit claim, and you will organize your research by using the Organizing Evidence tool. Here is that culminating writing task prompt that we're working on. Through reading of the unit text and additional research, develop an argument in response to the unit question. Is the dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? Within a more focused subtopic area. Using information from your reading, develop an argumentative thesis supported by a series of evidence-based claims, including at least one counter-argument to an opposing perspective or position. You will organize your thesis, claims, and evidence into a unified, coherent, well-reasoned argument that addresses a specific purpose and audience. Here are our learning targets for this lesson. Can you answer the unit question? And remember that the unit question is the American dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? And can you organize your research? For this lesson, you will need your reading response journal, your claims reference guide, your integrating quotations reference guide, as well as your culminating task tool. And remember, the culminating task tool was posted back in lesson 1.1. So now you're going to gather and organize evidence in preparation for composing your work. You will organize evidence from the sources that you have located, as well as gathering additional evidence to support your claim from the previous lesson. You will record your evidence on the Gather Evidence section of the Culminating Task tool. Then you will share your evidence that you have gathered with a partner, and you will work together to locate additional evidence. Remember that you need to gather and organize as much evidence as you can, as you will use this evidence in your work. Remember that you will need to address counterclaims and evidence which supports those counterclaims. You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity. Now we're going to review the unit question. Is the dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? What type of question is this? What are the parts to this question? What elements must be included in a response for this question? Remember that your work should appropriately address the task. You need to emphasize in your response and the supporting claims and explanations that are accurate, relevant, evidence-based, and logical. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to discuss these questions about the unit question with your partner. Now I want you to read your work and ask yourself the questions from the previous slide. You will need to make any necessary revision to the content and ideas of your work. Remember that although you selected one of the 5 more specific questions, your response should still address and answer the unit question, is the American dream of homeownership viable for all Americans as well? You will have 5 minutes to complete this activity. Also, I want you to answer these questions in regards to your work. Does the work address all parts of the task? Is there a clear position in supporting claims that are specific, original, appropriate to the task, and based on evidence? Is the reasoning logical in connection to the thesis statement? How well is the argument developed? Again, answer these questions in relation to your argument and make any necessary revisions. You will have another 5 minutes to complete this activity. Now you're going to review the culminating task prompt, your thesis statement, and the evidence you have gathered. You're going to complete the outlining section of the culminating task tool to organize the supporting claims and evidence for your work. You will have 35 minutes to complete this activity. Now you are going to review the Integrating Quotations reference guide. I want you to note the various ways to integrate a quotation into your writing. In particular, be sure to consider what to quote directly, including where to stop and start the quotation, what to paraphrase, and how to ensure that the quotation doesn't interrupt the flow of ideas. Remember that any direct quotations you use should be used to support the claims you make. They should be integrated or woven into the sentence so that sentence fluency is maintained. You will have 5 minutes to look over the Integrating Quotations reference guide. Now you're going to read the quotation from Gentrification Doesn't Trickle Down to Everyone. Using the evidence sentence starters, you are going to write a sentence in your reading response journal that integrates all or a portion of the quotation while maintaining the flow of ideas. In countless urban districts across the world, affordable housing is on the decline and displacement is on the rise. As you complete this activity, I want you to think about the following. How does integrating the quotation improve sentence fluency? You will have 3 minutes to complete this activity in your reading response journal. Now you're going to read the quotation from In Defense of Gentrification. Using the evidence sentence starters, again, you are going to write a sentence in your reading response journal that integrates all or a portion of the quotation while maintaining the flow of ideas. Together, these stories suggest that while gentrification can cause social discord and make residents anxious about the future, it neither produces measurably more departures from neighborhoods, nor does it usually make residents economically worse off. As you complete this activity, I want you to think about the following. How does integrating the quotation improve sentence fluency? You will have 3 minutes to complete this activity in your reading response journal. Now you're going to read the quotation from Disarming the Great Affordable Housing Debate. Using the evidence sentence starters found in the reference guide, you are going to write a sentence in your reading response journal that integrates all or a portion of the quotation while maintaining the flow of ideas. I would suggest practicing a different way of integrating one or more of these quotations after hearing from the rest of your group. Poor families, like every other family, should live where they choose based on their family circumstances, needs, and aspirations. To move up the economic ladder, poor families, again like other families, would prefer to live in neighborhoods that are safe and healthy, have good schools, and are located close to jobs and economic opportunities. Remember, it's usually best to paraphrase in many cases to maintain that flow, although sometimes you need the exact wording that a direct quotation requires. As you complete this activity, I want you to think about the following. How does integrating the quotation improve sentence fluency? You will have 3 minutes to complete this activity in your reading response journal. Congratulations! You have finished Section 4, Lesson 3 of the Homeownership unit. In this lesson, you answered the unit question, is the American dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? You also organized your research.